Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast as we share the truth concerning these last days and what you must do to save yourself from the violent times that are just ahead. Today's podcast is a word of truth accounting of the end times. The end is coming. The end is near. Today's podcast is entitled End Times 160, Rapture Truth. One taken, one left, part one. The podcast objectives are analyze the spiritual model of the dividing line, analyze the ones who are taken and the ones who are left, analyze the time of spiritual darkness, and define what it means to be taken and what it means to be left. A dividing line they cannot pass. Now, in the most recent podcast, we analyzed the truth the rapture theory was designed to conceal. That is, the timing of the millennial kingdom and the reign of Elohim, i.e., the eternal reign. Now, in convoluted order, the rapture theory attempts to merge these two kingdoms into one. In doing so, the rapture theory erases 1,000 years of prophetic history, and it displaces more than 100 end times events. For that reason, we took on a key exhibit to harden our case supporting the truth concerning the harvest. And in the process, we further expose the rapture theory for what it truly is, a false doctrine that is leading many astray. Now, the Spirit has led me to stay on this course for another lesson. This should tell you just how critical it is for you to understand this matter and to receive this truth. It is for this reason. Every false doctrine is situated at a dividing line within the visible body of Yahushua Messiah, i.e., all who have been called. By definition, a dividing line is a spiritual barrier that separates the various levels of knowledge and wisdom. This barrier is structured as a gate. Its purpose is to draw the chosen elect and to lead them to the next level, such that they may strengthen their election into everlasting life. On this wise, the enemy has placed countless counterfeit doctrines adjacent to all the dividing lines we will encounter in our quest for holiness, perfection, and everlasting life. The goal being to prevent men and women from growing in knowledge and wisdom. Now, here is a question. What is the fate of the man or woman who does not grow in the knowledge and wisdom of our master? The answer, that man or woman will soon experience spiritual death. Nevertheless, I would not have you to be soon shaken by this reality, as daunting and as serious as it is. For spiritual death is a process preceded by multiple seasons of regression and opportunities to repent. Moreover, it is impossible to experience spiritual death if you are being led by the Spirit. Here lies the inflection, namely, those who do not pass the dividing lines are not being led by the Spirit. This is why they will believe one of the many false doctrines within the religious circuit and eventually take on spiritual blindness. Moreover, these individuals, if they started with us on this end times journey, they will not continue with us. Perhaps they believe the rapture theory or one of its many derivatives. Whatever the case may be, they have reached a roadblock and a dividing line they cannot pass. And yet, we must go forward, and we shall. Trust me, the rapture theory, although a major dividing line in our end times journey, is just one of many. There are various others we will encounter, and I will do everything I can to help you succeed them all. Who is taken? Who is left? Now, the spiritual model of dividing lines is the foundation of the third and final exhibit I will present on all things concerning the wheat and the tares, the harvest, the rapture theory, and the timing around the millennial kingdom and the reign of Elohim. It is a powerful illustration of the difference between the called and the chosen, and a demonstrative witness against the instantaneous conversion into immortality prior to the corporate transition of the righteous into eternity. I call it Exhibit C, who is taken and who is left. We shall consider Luke 17, 34 through 37. It reads, saying, I say to you, in this night there shall be two in one bed. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. Two women shall be grinding together. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. Two shall be in the field. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. And they answering said to him, Where, master? And he said to them, Where the body is, there also the vultures shall be gathered together. The time of spiritual darkness. Now, instead of building a case, as I had done for prior exhibits, using sub-exhibits, I will simply reveal the truth concerning these scriptures. And I will begin with the leading verse, verse 34. In this verse, we hear our loving master reveal, the one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. This is the first of three occasions in which he makes this declaration. This reveals the importance of the point he is making. The key to understanding this verse, which sets the stage for this end times event, is uncovering a key misinterpretation. That is, most Bibles read, in that night there shall be two in one bed. Here lies the misinterpretation. If you analyze the root word using the ABP or any other concordance, you will find the word that is misinterpreted. In effect, that should have been interpreted as this. And thus, we find Yahushua saying, in this night, there shall be two in one bed. The question of the hour then is, what night is Yahushua referring to? The answer, I had to turn to the ABP, i.e., the Apostolic Bible Polyglot with Strong's numbers. In doing so, I came to see how night in this context is neither physical, literal, nor metaphorical. On the contrary, it is contextually spiritual, and it is directly referencing the nature of the end times, specifically these last days. Here we have a treasure box. Shaul uses this same model of night in his address to the Romans. Romans 13, 11 through 12. And do this, knowing the time, that it is already the hour for us to wake from sleep. For now our deliverance is nearer than when we did believe. The night is far advanced, the day has come near. So let us put off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. In this passage, Shaul is warning the Romans, saying, the night is far advanced, the day has come near. Night in this spiritual context is equated to darkness. This is why Shaul is revealing the day has come near, the day being our deliverance, that is, our salvation in these last days, i.e., the time of spiritual darkness. This is why Shaul is also commanding us, saying, put off the works of darkness. My dear friends, the time of spiritual darkness is coming to an end. It is even at the doors. We know this to be true, for when Yahushua returns, there will be no more spiritual darkness. This is the basis for the millennial kingdom and the unprecedented levels of peace and prosperity that will saturate the renewed earth. Here again, this is why Shaul commands the Romans to wake up from sleep. For the one who walks in darkness does not know where he or she is going. And how will he or she fare in these last days? As for the chosen elect, we know exactly where we are going, for we bear the armor of light. And we are succeeding every dividing line in this quest, increasing our knowledge and our wisdom concerning the truth of these last days. Close, but not close enough. Now, this word of truth sets the tone for the remainder of this discourse, for we understand the purpose of the word spoken by our loving master concerning the one who is taken and the one who is left. It is to reinforce the reality that many are called, but few are chosen. Not only do we know the purpose, but we also know the time and the season. Luke 17, 20 through 30 establishes these factors, making multiple references to the second coming of the Son of Adam and its correlation to the days of Noah, a connection we have made often throughout this end time series. Now it's time to rightly divide. Knowing these truths, we can easily understand the remainder of this discourse. Allow me to rightly divide. In these last days, there will be multiple occasions where there are men and women who are closely affiliated, spiritually and or physically, where one will be taken and the other will be left. They could be blood family or church family, co-workers or friends. The point our loving master is trying to make is sure. The individuals he is speaking about have far more in common than they have apart. They are more similar than they are different. Yet, despite this fact, their destinies could not be any more different. Remember, on each occasion, one is taken and the other is left. Now, the $1,000,000 question is, what does it mean to be taken and what does it mean to be left? Now, in answering this question, I again had to turn to the ABP. Here is what I found. To take, in this context, is to receive unto oneself, to admit, to acknowledge, to carry. Therefore, to be taken implies one is received by the Father by a spiritual acknowledgement and is carried through these last days by his saving power. Now, to leave in this context is to give up, to let alone, to forsake, to omit, to put away, to disregard, to abandon, to leave behind. Therefore, to be left implies one is not received by the Father, and thus he or she will not be guarded in these last days. No doubt, this revelation is a pivotal inflection that opens the door for us to not only understand the truth concerning this exhibit, it provides us with another litmus test for differentiating between the called and the chosen. Therefore, we will continue this line of spiritual thought in the upcoming podcast as we further analyze what it means to be taken and what it means to be left. Now, here is the final word. The time of spiritual darkness is coming to an end, and many will be left behind. Notwithstanding, they will not all be left behind at once. As you will see in the upcoming lessons, those who are left behind are discarded from season to season. Specifically, they are discarded because they did not fulfill the requirements of each season in these last days. They did not pass the tests that qualify us for the millennial kingdom. Rather, they forsook the Father. They would not walk in obedient faith to his will. They refused to guard his commands. For this cause, they too will be forsaken. In the same way, they will not guard his word. He will not guard them in the hour of temptation that has come to try all who dwell on the earth. My dear friends, that hour is not only near, it is here. And thus, if we are to be kept by the power of the set apart spirit, we must do everything within our power to ensure we are the ones who are taken, for there is no hope for those who are left. Now, here is today's assignment. Meditate on the word you have heard today and ask the Father to reveal the truth to you. Remember, where there is no conviction, there can be no faith. And without faith, it is impossible to please him. Next, if the Spirit is leading you and you have not signed up for our mailing list, you can go to www.transformationbytruth.com to sign up today. We'll alert you as soon as podcasts are posted, and we'll share our presentations, notes, and other materials at no cost. It is for your edification. And most importantly, you will be connected to me and those who have joined themselves to this ministry as we prophesy and align current events with the prophetic word. These discussions are taking place outside of this podcast ministry. Therefore, if the Spirit is leading you, and only if the Spirit is leading you, I encourage you to come and see. You will be in good spiritual company. Lastly, if you have any questions, please submit them via our contact form on our website. If you have any comments, please share those on the video page for this podcast, also on our website. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast, End Times 160, One Taken, One Left, Part 1. And the next podcast is entitled End Times 162, One Taken, One Left, Part 2. I will post this podcast on Monday, May 22nd, 2023. Until then, my friends, continue to be led by the Spirit of Elohim. Continue to watch, continue to pray, continue in fasting, and most of all, continue to be focused, for the end is coming. The end is near.